Hello and welcome to Gustav Makings. And today we're making a half skull because it's Halloweeny time. So let's get going, shall we? What you need is a skull, a cheap Halloween skull, a face, any face would do, some eyelashes, a wig, blood paste and makeup and glue and stuff. Well, let's start here with the skull here, and you see I'm cutting it in half and we're gonna carve that out to make the half face here, but it's very important to carve out the eye here, and this is a very cheap, €5 skull that they sell everywhere in this Halloween season here. So yes, so now you see here, I'm just gonna outline where I'm going to cut this thing out, and it's important to get this quite right, because otherwise it looks like you have a skull smashed into your face instead of your face is being half, because this is my face that I'm using here. I have a video on how to make this, which I did some years ago. Well, be sure to check that out if you're interested in having one face. You can use this to any face that you have on a disposable form. Anyway, so now you see I'm cutting out here the latex and also into the glue here, because this is made out of glue, as I explained in that other video. But you see I'm cutting it out there, and now it comes the part when you're gonna try to align this up as much as you can, because your skull might not be the same proportion as a plastic skull from a Halloween department store or whatever. So you see here, I'm just trying to, make it as tight and as little as possible. But at the same time, you also need to put your face into it if you're gonna wear it, like I'm going to do here. So I'm gonna be half myself. Anyway, this is going to be used in a movie, so yeah. It could be nice. So now you see here, I'm just gluing this back on here. If you want to attach this a little bit extra, you can also make some holes and sew it onto the skull, but I think that will be better. So you see here's like one part of when I'm trying to do this, trying here with a hat, just to see if it, sit properly onto your face. And it does. So yeah, we should be successful on that then, because they are a little bit more bent outwards, the skull. So you see my nose will pop through there, but now we're gonna do something about that. But you see, yeah, now I'm gonna take some pantyhose here and I am going to glue that inside here, because it is skin colored and it's flexible, so it's a very good base to work from. So I'm just gonna hot glue this onto all the little areas here, and also gonna stretch this a more bit here over the eye, so you can see through it, so you know what you do, so you don't run into people and die. Whatever can happen when you run into people, running uncontrollably with limited visions. Yeah, so you see, now I'm using the small glue gun here on the fabric, because it does not burn as easily. Now, this is latex that is mixed up with some, not skin tone, but a little bit more orangey, so it can, look like some old flesh thing here going on. So you see, I'm just doing a very thin layer here. Now we're going to start to rip this thing up. In some cases, you actually paint the skull before this, but in this case, it doesn't really matter, because we're going to use this as the flesh itself. So you see I'm ripping up here and also pulling it together over the hole, so it looks like skin has come over and the flesh from the cheekbones and stuff like that covering. Yeah, so now I'm just painting this again with a thinner layer of latex. So you see, and now we're gonna rip that also. And that will look even more like many layers, because this is the thing, that if you're gonna do something that looks a little bit more many of the the Halloween masks that you are buying and stuff like that are usually just painted in 3 colors, and it looks kind of cheap because a lot of things has more than 1 colors and nuances and stuff to it. So if you just have black, white and gray, or black, white and metal, or black, white and red, if you're gonna do some horror Halloween things. So I usually mix down some brown and some, you know, pinks and something like that, just to wash them together. It will look instantly more realistic. So you see here now, this is, you know, like 5 layers of different colors and nuances with the latex and the bone and stuff like that. And this is just a little bit of a wash here, because this is gonna, you know, make it a little bit more gross and disgusting zombie thing makeup. So there's a lot of tutorials online on how to paint zombie things and makeups and stuff like that, but it is basically the same thing. But this now here, this is blood paste that I have soaked up with some water to, you know, paint in all that, because when this dries it becomes, you know, more darker and a little bit more solid. So it's a fantastic thing to do, like dry blood, and if you watch it even more with water, it becomes very pink. So it's very. So now you see I have my eye there. It's just gonna paint up in layers, and what I'm doing here now, this is I've cut some hair from the wig, and I'm cutting them in small sections and putting them on top of latex, so we can actually create a brow hair, you know, without having to, you know, punching it with the hair punching, which looks nice, but it also takes time. This takes less time and it looks fine. So now I've decided to do a little bit of a beard here going on, because my face doesn't look very good in this configuration here. But my own beard, like, doesn't really grow there. I have some weird blank spots on my face, but if you look at some old videos when I have a beard, you will see that. Anyway, so now I'm just trying to make this disgusting, and, you know, see all the little imperfections there in the mold work. You can turn them into little sores and stuff like that. So now we're painting the lips here, and that is also like some bunch of red and combine with some white highlights and do this in layers, so you will have a very, very nice lip. So go from like dark brown to red to pink to white, and then start over again, and you will have a very nice lip. So now we're just following in, you know, some darker areas here into the nose and a little bit of a crevices there. And I'll also put on some more trimming of the eyebrows. You see I'm doing a little bit of a highlight in there just to, you know, make it look a little bit more like human skin. That in the same way will look, you know, pale and dead and, you know, zombie-like. But you see also there that I glued on the back of the skull a little bit more, just so it will cover up the parts of the face there, which I forgot to film, I guess. This has been a very long time between I built this and shoot this. There I do some splattering here, so yeah, just to make it look more with the. So it has been banked for a long time, this video, because I thought it would be a very good Halloween video. And now you see I'm putting some more blood paste here, not with so much water in, just so it looks like, you know, some blood has clogged into the beard after we have munched on some brain. Yeah, so now we're going on here with some glue here, just to glue on the wig here. And the wig has been, you know, been used in many of my movies and become over time very filled with debris and stuff like that. So it will be a fantastic, you know, zombie for being out in nature for a long time. So you see, there we go, almost finished here. So what we're gonna do here now is a very crucial step to make, you know, selling a little bit more of a realistic thing. Is to actually have eyelashes, and that is something that usually will come off if you do hair puncturing and stuff like that. And sometimes people just ignore it, but it adds so much to have some eyelashes, even though these eyelashes are very, very cheap and look quite fake. But you know, well, you can do your best work with them. But you see now they look kind of more fake than they will do after I have done a little bit of a trimming and shortening down. So it's gonna first cut them into lengths, and then we're just gonna cut them inwards so they will not look so unnaturally dense. Unless you want to make a really high fashion flashy zombie with good eyelashes. High fashion. So you see, now we're doing that little cuts there. Now I'm just gonna try to paint in the problems that shown up here with some more glue. So they will actually, you know, look like they have grown together. See, I'm going in there with a small brush here just to paint some glue and some color to it, so it will, you know, blend in better to the eye. This is quite difficult to get right, but I'm sure there are methods out there that I am not aware of when it comes to eyelashes and putting them on in a fantastic way. And also some, you know, some blood paste just to sell the zombie look a little bit more. It will be lovely. And you see a little bit more, because it's easy to overdo things, but make sure to make it look good if you're gonna go through this process. And now we will do a little bit of a final test here before I alter this a little bit more. But you see, we have the wild hair here, and we have the beard, so it will kind of a good hippie zombie when you think about it. So you see, this is just gonna cover my neck there. And now I'm dressed up as myself as a half-faced zombie that is also a hippie, maybe. So I hope you find this interesting, even though it's a little cyborgy thing going on here, but Halloween soon! Bye.